Piano-Play-It.com.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another free piano lesson by Piano-Play-It.com. This is David here, and today we're going to discuss gradual and sudden dynamic changes. So we're going to start with the sudden dynamic changes. So until today we spoke about dynamic changes that applied for a whole passage. For example, when we said piano, it meant that we are supposed to play piano for the whole line until further notice, until a new dynamic sign appears. But what happens if we would like to pronounce a sudden dynamic change? So we would like to play soft and suddenly we would like to play a very strong accent. So there's a sign for that as well. And the first sign we're going to discuss is called Sforzando. And Sforzando means you have to suddenly, instantly play very loud. So forte. This is the meaning of Sforzando. And maybe the most common place where a sudden Sforzando appears is the Surprise Symphony by Haydn. So let's see how we handle the Sforzando in this piece. Okay, so in the Surprise Symphony by Haydn, we're starting with a very soft passage played in piano, musical dynamic sign, and then we are getting a very instant Sforzando at the end of the second phrase. Let's see how it works. Now I'm repeating the first line again. Still piano. F, F, D, D, B, B, G. And Sforzando! Okay, so now we have a really surprise. That's why this symphony is called the Surprise Symphony. So what you have to do in the second line is play weak, play soft. Don't increase the volume to keep the surprise, not to ring it. And then, pack! When I play Sforzando, I have to fall very quickly to the key in order to create the surprise. But no one should suspect that you're gonna play a Sforzando. This is its power, the sudden surprise. Now the other side of this story is the Subito Piano. So you're playing loud and suddenly you surprise the listener with a very soft touch. That is the meaning of Subito Piano. Okay, so we discussed sudden dynamic changes, now let's discuss gradual dynamic changes. So the story behind the gradual dynamic changes is that you have to fall faster from one key to the next in order to increase the level of volume through a small or a large passage. When you are expected to increase the volume in a gradual order, you will see the crescendo sign, which looks like this. Okay, so the place where both lines are touching is the soft place, and as the lines grow you have to actually increase the volume. The other side of crescendo, which means you have to gradually increase the volume, is decrescendo. So you basically have to decrease the volume starting from the place where both lines are very far from each other, where you have to play loud, and going slowly, very, very soft to the place where the lines are touching. The place where the lines are touching is the place which has to be softest. Now let's play an exercise that will help us to practice crescendo and diminuendo. Why do we need an exercise? Because you will discover that it's pretty hard to create the control of increasing and decreasing the volumes when we play crescendo and decrescendo. And when you play diminuendo / crescendo, which are the same, you'll discover it's the hardest to play decrescendo or diminuendo without also slowing down, because we only have to play softer. It doesn't mean we have to play also slower. Let's see how we do it. So what I want you to do is position your right hand on the middle C position, so the thumb on middle C and the rest of the fingers respectively. And I want you to start playing very soft on C and increase the volume gradually by falling to each of the next keys a bit faster until you reach G. When you reach the G key, I want you to play very strong, so forte. How do we do it? Let's see. Okay, so pay attention to what I just did. I started the process of falling faster to the key right from the start. And I discovered that at the end I couldn't really raise my volume more because I reached the limit of raising my volume pretty fast. So what I recommend is that you start the increasing of the volume only from the middle of the process, so from E basically. So this sounds much more convincing. So the correct way to do it is actually by staying soft for a while and starting only towards the end to increase the volume. But now you reached the G and I'd like you to descend towards C and this time play Diminuendo. So decrease the volume, and you have to do it basically the same. You have to start to play very loud, stay loud, and decrease the volume only towards the end. And by doing that you will make sure you will not reach a too soft volume, which will prevent the other listeners to hear the sound you're creating. Remember, music is all about communication. So if you're playing too soft and you're the only one who's hearing the volume you're producing, you're basically not reaching the point you're trying to achieve. So we are always thinking of our listeners. So let's do it again. I start strongly and I fall slowly to the key until I reach a soft volume at the end. Now, a tip. When you play crescendo and decrescendo or diminuendo, you must not slow down. So you have to increase the volume, but not slow down. You have to skip the same tempo. Crescendo and decrescendo means you only have to increase or decrease the level of the volume without slowing down the tempo. Okay guys, so I'm quitting this piano lesson in here, but if you want to watch the full piano tutorial, all you have to do is click on the link on the right or below, depends on where you're watching, and it will direct you to the specific page where I show the full piano tutorial, all for free, with free piano sheets of the pieces we cover here in this piano lesson. The reason I'm doing this is, of course, to allow you and to show you the way to Piano-Play-It, my website, where I teach free piano lessons for free, and I want you to be part of this growing community of piano students who study the piano for free. I'll see you there, okay? Bye guys! Piano-Play-It.com Piano-Play-It.com